On the northwest side of downtown San Diego, there is Little Italy and all that it offers today: restaurants, residential buildings, outdoor eating areas, and a place that's none of these things and altogether different. And that's where we're going in for a look around. Because if you pass this place by, you really do miss something about San Diego. It's a museum, not a flashy one, doesn't pretend to be, but in its low-key way, the San Diego Firehouse Museum is fascinating. Little background: beginning in 1915, this was a fire station, number 6. Just like we've all seen in any number of movies like this, you get the idea: sliding down the fire pole, everyone onto the trucks and off to the incident. Well, that was routine here at Station 6, right up until this old firehouse at Columbia and Cedar Streets closed in 1970. So why? Why this particular fire station for a museum? Well, for one thing, what happened in this building pretty much changed everything about how fires are fought everywhere in the country. For example, believe it or not, before 1963, one city might have a fire truck with hoses on it, and another city would have a truck with hoses, but they wouldn't fit together. The threads didn't match. Well, in a machine shop here, a national standard was created that led to a federal law. Now all the threads match everywhere. Just imagine how many lives that saved. The world's first gas engine fireboat was built more or less in the backyard here. Just a remarkable thing. Its bell must have been heard for a mile, and other parts of the Bill Kettner, it was called, are still on display. And 1,000 other things that you see and go, oh, I get it, like these hydrants. If you're old enough, you might remember they used to call them fire plugs. You want to know why? Well, here's an old water pipe made of redwood that ran along El Cajon Boulevard. If there was a fire, the crew would drill a hole into the pipe to siphon the water off that they needed, and afterward screw a fire plug back in to plug the hole. Blue reflectors, you see them in the road when you're driving. They tell arriving fire trucks there's a hydrant alongside the street. These little bottles, they look like they're for perfume or like light bulbs, a lot of them do, but they're really very old fire extinguishers called fire grenades, filled with salt water or carbon tetrachloride. If there was a fire, you grabbed one and threw it at the flames.
And out she goes.
Sort of like that. Some were put on the ceiling and held by a heat-sensitive wire that would crack or drop the ball in a fire and put it out. But the big attractions at the Firehouse Museum are the fire trucks, some of which are so tied to local history. Here's the first apparatus that La Jolla ever had. A steam fire engine, which when it responded to a fire, created a sound and spectacle unknown to any living person today. This white fire truck was ready if there was ever a fire at the 1915 San Diego Exposition in Balboa Park. Here it is in a film made more than a century ago. See it? That white fire truck there? Same one that's here today. Photographs of the intense work of firefighting that's at times dramatic and exhausting. Meters and valves it would take an engineer to understand. Uniforms, and so many little things, and big. It really doesn't matter your age. There's just a fascination here. You can take it all in and move on, or really find yourself caught up in the collections of things. All the time remembering that this San Diego Firehouse Museum at Columbia and Cedar stands not just as a tribute to our firefighters through the decades, but to their imagination and innovation. A lot of lives were and still are being saved because of what happened here. And that's an historical fact about San Diego. Hi, I'm Ken Kramer. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it and you would like to see more stories just like it, all you have to do is click on the subscribe button, and that way you will know when there are more stories to be seen about San Diego.